We're live, folks, for some shenanigans. What's up tonight? Um, what's prompted this YouTube? Well, the Boston Globe, seen as an establishment accepted, awesome news source, is saying that we're going to be looking at a climate catastrophe coming really bad. Really bad. So that's troubling. Now, some people talk about, I lost my one viewer. Some people talk about there's active measures being taken to deal with climate change. And they mention things like geoengineering, and that seems to be okay. But if you say something else like chemtrail or whatever, that is apparently not okay. And as mentioned here before, Mr. Bill Gates has said he would like to engage in some weather management and a lot of that type of statements he's made. And there's a lot of stuff on climate change. Greta Thunberg, Al Gore. I'm not going to comment yay or nay what I think of them, but I'm concerned that they never bring up the fact that there's a possibility that they're already doing this geoengineering, and it's bad, making a situation that is bad perhaps worse. And there seems to be no way to question this. And then there's a lot of talk about Green New Deal, and it makes a lot of certain people, like investors, maybe nervous. Like, oh, the Green New Deal. I look creepy. You can see me in my eyes. And this is troubling. Anybody out there want to chat? So, the Boston Globe, let me see if I can get that quote. Getting that quote. Just be a moment, I apologize. But, so this is troubling to me that you can't quite ask about that. And nobody's really asking about anything. It seems to me of a larger nature. Everything is just told. And then people now react. Spraying some, I'll see if I can. Okay, so the headline is Welcome to the Climate Apocalypse. If you've known where to look, the signs, I guess they can't write at the Globe, or I can't read. The signs have been there for years in the shrinking sea ice and the crisis unfolding in the low-lying island nations. But what is in full view now in a way that hasn't been before is that the extreme weather events reliably traced to climate change are happening with more frequency and more severity and more damage to human life and property, and it's going to get worse. Let me say something slightly irrational. They can correct me if I'm wrong, but when they talk about such things, it's almost like there's like an austerity program, which is good. Yeah, maybe, okay, recycling, or do they really do it? And then carbon footprint and carbon credits. And, there's a whole vocabulary associated with it. And, like it or not, there's an antagonism. All right. So if I could be crude, shall I say, there's a sense that the regular people, the Ralph Crandons, the Fred Flintstones of this world, they are responsible for it. But I think I've said this before. If you say, well, okay, there's a problem with the pollution, there's a problem with so-called climate change. But if you say to people this, and you say, well, we have to, put on hold or reduce globalization. We need to stop globalization. We need to, do something to, and some people say that, yeah, grow locally, do something local. But you'll look in their face and they get kind of confused. Like, oh, well, because certain people have said, well, the solution to the world's problems is globalization and so forth. So they'll be a little bit confused. So somehow, of course, we're going to keep the trade somehow and pull back the carbon footprint. And there's been numerous times, of course, when people have pointed out that very powerful people, influential people, popular people, movie stars and politicians and people made popular by the media, they take a jet plane and they take a SUV and a caravan to the climate change event. And so some people will just dismiss that, because like it or not, just people gravitate towards certain personalities, and, each type of person has a kind of sheep mentality anyway. Basically following one side to the other. And what about all these rumors of the, supply chains and problems? And apparently Dubai just created rain to tackle 122 degree heat. It's got to be near a record. They almost broke the record in Death Valley. All right, well, that's all I got to say. What do you guys think? So again, just tweak it and change a few words and just consider the fact that they are engaging. I mean, there's that story about Dubai creating rain in some type of weather manipulation, and there's a lot of problem with the climate, and the crops aren't looking good, and looks like we're headed into another thing where nobody seems to be able to do anything about it. All right. Let me know what you guys think. Person on the line now, come on the chat room. What do you think? Climate change? Climate catastrophe. I brought this up because it's not some kind of strange news source. It's the supposedly legitimate Boston Globe. All right, peace out. Tell me what you guys think. Ciao.